Hi, everyone. I'm Sonia, and thank you for joining us today on taking local small businesses online. Before Dan starts, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been with Metro for over 25 years, and I'm sure I've connected with you over emails, phone calls. Maybe we've done some training. So thank you for joining us. Before I get started, and I hand it over to Dan. Dan will be taking your questions. So with that, please, throughout the webinar, if Dan brings anything up, like makes any points about cmsbot or the topics we'll be bringing up, please go ahead and submit your questions to the Q&A because we will be answering them at the end of the webinar. Dan, over to you.
Thank you. I'm Dan Perez. I'm the VP of New Media here at Metro Creative Graphics. Just a little bit about myself. I've been at Metro for over 15 years. I've worked at newspapers, and I'm going to present to you our latest product, which is cmsbot. But before I do so, I just want to get the elephant out of the room here. I just want to point out one thing that I've heard so far when I start presenting the CMS bot to everyone is that all small local businesses are saying how much they like Facebook. So I guess that's we're going to address the elephant in the room right now, why small local businesses do like Facebook. So the major reason why they love Facebook is because it is cost effective. It is easy to set up, and it's also free. I'm going to turn off my video for now and just go through the slides. The next area of why they like Facebook is because it's ease of use. So Facebook is easy to set up, and it's also easy to manage. And even people who do not have any technical experience are able to modify and edit the site or their post on there. It also boasts that it has a lot of active users worldwide, and it is a pretty massive reach that they do have with their larger audience. Another positive about Facebook is that it is mobile friendly. So the platform is designed for mobile use. Again, it is crucial that your sites are all mobile responsive, and that's because everyone seems to be using their phones now to go on the internet. Direct engagement. So one of the other reasons why people use Facebook, and these are the small businesses, is that it allows them to communicate with customers, build a relationship, as well as providing quick customer service. And of course, I'm sure all of you have already heard, Facebook does targeted advertising, and what that does is allows for specific targeting based on demographics, interests, behaviors, and location. So now you ask yourself, how can we compete with that, with all those things that are such positives for Facebook? Well, let's start off with the disadvantages of Facebook and that no one's talking about for the small local businesses. One disadvantage is that you have lack of control. So a small business cannot change a couple of things on Facebook. And one thing that Facebook can do is they can change their algorithms, they can change their policies, they can even shut down your site without even letting you know, or giving you little notice at least. Another part of Facebook is that there's limited customization and branding. So as you can upload a logo and you can add a cover photo, you don't really have a brand identity using Facebook. And that's one of the negative parts of Facebook. It's unlike a website where it does give you complete creative freedom, where you can design it or make it look somewhat of what your location, your services, or your products is. Also, declining organic reach. So you may have thousands of followers on your Facebook page, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to see your posts. So Facebook's algorithm actually is now increasing more the priority of family and friends over business pages. So the reason for that is obviously they know that a business is a business, so they're willing to pay for advertising. And that's one of the reasons why they don't show your ads or they don't show your posts so high up there versus family and friends. One of the downfalls of advertising with Facebook is once you start advertising with them, you really can't stop. And it's not that you can't stop technically, but once you do stop, your reach and your posts do not get seen as often to your followers. And they know that because they know that you're willing to pay. And so they start changing the algorithm to start working that way. Again, so your posts are not seen as often. So, for example, if your post before advertising was 100 people saw it, or you had a lot of comments, after you advertise and you stop advertising, you may see maybe 10 people saw your post. Also, SEO limitations. So Google is now indexing some Facebook pages. So a business location may appear, or their Facebook page may appear on a search in Facebook, but that's it. It's not doing any other indexing, for example, on posts or anything like that. Where a website, it can do that. So SEO limitations, that's a huge issue. And also limited functionality. So again, you can post information, you can get engagement with your clients on there, but you really can't do much more than that. For example, you can't put detailed information of products, you can't organize them in that way, you can't put so much service information, you can't add coupons, and you can't even download forms. So another thing is, if a business does have Facebook, why do they need a website? So here are some answers that I have in regards to that. And I think the major response is you have to let them know that credibility is the biggest reason why they need a website. A professional website establishes credibility and trust with potential customers. And not having a business website, it appears less reputable in this digital era. So here's some stats in regards to searching. 76% of consumers will search for a company's website before visiting their physical location. So again, it is important that they have not a Facebook page, but a website in addition to their Facebook page. Also, 45% among these consumers visit in person if the business has a strong online presence. And 86%, this is the good news, is 86% of small businesses without a website plan to build one in the next few years. So here's where cmsbot comes in. It's an all-new, all-in-one digital marketing platform. It makes it simple to lock in recurring revenue by creating business websites and selling affordable digital marketing programs. It's cost-effective, similar to how Facebook is, where it's free to start off. So we have no upfront costs, no contract, and no credit card required. You and your clients can get started anytime with no registration or startup costs. And the only cost to you will be that if any of your sites that you've created as a sample or as a demo to your clients, if any of them do get activated and they do get sold and they are live, we then, Metro, would charge $15 a month for sold sites. So again, if you sell a site after the free trial, and we'll bill you $15 a month for each active site. That means if you have two sites that you've created and one of those two sites becomes active, then we will charge you $15 a month for that site. If both those sites actually go active and they both decide to move forward with the website, then that means we will charge you $30 a month. And you get to charge the market rate and keep the difference. So the reason why we're charging $15 a month, and I'd like to express this, is that, and why it's so cheap, is because there are competitor sites out there that are doing somewhat similar to what we're doing, and they're charging $30 a month. So we don't want you to overprice yourself with the competition. So that's the reason why we're charging 15, and we're recommending that you charge anywhere between $30 to $50 a month for a site. It's also similar to Facebook. It is ease of use. So it's very easy to create a sample website for free and in just 90 seconds. And it is also easy to set up and manage. And similar to Facebook, it's mobile friendly. So websites built on cmsbot platform are designed for mobile use. And what's different about what cmsbot does versus Facebook is that you don't need to download an app in order for you to update the site using your phone. So you can actually update the entire site. You actually can create a site on a mobile device without actually having to download any apps. Again, because the site is built mobile friendly. And of course, if you do still want to use Facebook, you can do direct engagement by sharing blogs from your website onto Facebook. And this again helps you maximize your reach. Now, the large local audience, this is where you guys come in. With your media company, You do have an audience that is long-term local residents of the community who are consumers with established buying power. So unlike Facebook, you're not going for a worldwide audience, you're going more for a local audience, and that's who your clients need. Also, the websites that are built with cmsbot, they are all created with Google strict SEO standards. What that means is that we've gone down to the colors of the site to be not a negative, but a positive, according to what Google would like to see as a color. So, for example, a color could be too light, and that gives a negative point towards your website, where we've selected colors to build a website that Google likes. And because of that, our websites constantly achieve 90 plus in Google performance and in SEO scores. And the better that your site is SEO'd, the more organic search visibility and more customers will find you. And 46% of all Google searches are for a local product or service. So again, this is where it's important that if you have a website and you put information on that website and that website is built with SEO, then your information such as products or services will be found organically on Google searches. And 53% of all small business website traffic comes from organic search. So again, it's extremely important that you build a website or have a website that has SEO. And then finally, 49% of businesses that say that organic search brings them the best marketing result. So again, the ROI with building a site that has SEO helps you build or at least get more people finding you on Google search. Now, Metro CMS Bot also allows you to customize it as well as brand it. So you have complete creative freedom to upload your business logo. You can even change the color design choice. You can add logo photos to it on the home page and so much more. So there is unlimited functionality, meaning that there are no limits to the amount of pages that you create. So this isn't a one-page splash page landing page that many other sites are offering. This is an actual full-blown website. So you have unlimited access, meaning that you can create many pages. So you can have multiple galleries. You can have multiple products, multiple service information, descriptions, coupons, video galleries, upcoming events, and even downloadable forms, as well as blog posts on this. And then in order for you all as media companies to manage these sites for your clients, what we've done is we've created a digital marketing website. So partners will receive a co-branded digital marketing website to showcase their services and also add staff. And that marketing website will also have a Get Started button that you can see on the top right-hand side of the website. And that Get Started button link helps you create a website for your client. And again, at no cost to you. So any client can go on your site, click the Get Started button, and it will allow them to build a site. Or again, you can create the website for your client and then manage it through, again, activation with your digital marketing website. So before I go any further, I'd like to show you a live demo of how simple it is to create a business website in just 90 seconds. So I'm just going to switch my screen now over to Firefox. And so this is the cmsbot website. And on this website, if many of you have gone to this site, you'll notice we have a try it now. Now that try it now is just in demo mode so that you can see how it would work when you're building a sample site. And you could at any time go on this site and build a demo. All you need to do is just enter the verification code. And this allows you to see how easy it is to build a site. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go to a sample digital marketing website. So this is what you would receive as a media partner with Metro. You would receive a digital marketing website that will allow you to add your services. It will say how it works. It will give information about you, and it will list your clients. And then at any time, anyone 24 hours a day can click this Get Started button and create a website themselves. Now, all of these areas here are formatted for you. They're also pre-entered with content as well as images. And what you would do is just modify any of this information according to your local information. So if you would like to put a local photo, you can do it here as well as change the slide images here. And your digital marketing website also includes a dashboard. So this is how you would activate sites by using your dashboard. And I'm just giving you some information in regards to the digital marketing website before I actually build a site. And so this is how you would manage it. So one thing I just want to make very clear, this isn't a tech product where you need your tech staff modifying the site. This is a sales tool. This is where your sales reps are in charge. It has nothing to do with a tech person. It doesn't require anyone knowing any HTML. You don't even have to hire an additional person in order to manage this. This is a product that's used as a sales tool that you can actually go out just like a spec ad, except with a website. And so this is where your sales staff can build websites without using any HTML knowledge. And for example, if I click on websites here, it will list any websites that I have under this umbrella website. So if this were your co-branded site, it would have your logo here. The colors would represent your newspaper colors. And then you would have a list of your websites here. And if you were going to activate any site, you would simply just, for example, I would click modify and then just click activate site as you see here. So by clicking that to green, it activated the site and makes it live. If I deactivate it, that means they didn't pay their bill for the month and they no longer have the site. It will have a notification on the front of the page saying that this site is currently pending or it's not active. And then you would just click submit. So again, there's nothing that needs to be done technically. Nothing needs to be added to your current website. You don't need anyone to technically add a link to your website. The only thing that you could add to your website is a link to this digital marketing website that would promote that you're doing websites under your umbrella. So again, that could be done through ads. And this product actually creates those ads for you as I'm mentioning it. So we do have an area that creates web ads to further promote the digital marketing website. So I'll show you an example of an ad that I've created. So all you need to do is click create a web ad, but I'll just go through here so then we don't spend too much time on this. You give it a headline, you give it some content. If I would like to have a click here button, I would like to add my address and phone number, or if I would like to add any images, I can do so by selecting any image here. And then I just click submit. This will automatically create a 300 by 300 web ad that you can actually use on your website to promote the product. And so as you can see, these are some of the websites that it's web ads that it's created. And you could just simply click download and it will create this as an image that you can then use on your website to further promote and market this digital marketing website. So without spending more time on the digital marketing website, I'll just go to the get started. So get started again is the part that takes 90 seconds in order for you to build a website. All you need to do is copy the verification code here. And you'll notice it says free 7-day trial. You have full control of how long that trial period is. It could be 3 days, it could be 7 days. We don't recommend more than 7 days because the more time that you give someone to try it out, the more time that they're going to spend just wasting time. So you really want them to feel an urgency on building one of these sites out. So you give them a 7-day trial. I think that's plenty of time for them to actually see if they like it or not. So again, if we start the time now at 90 seconds, I just pasted that verification code and I click try it now. And so what it's doing is it's actually going to create a website under the umbrella of that My City paper that I created. You'll notice that we will have eventually a contest coming soon. But right now, let's stick with the business website. For a business website, I'm just going to call it Dan's Restaurant. And then I'm going to select a category. So we have several categories here. We are building out more categories as we go. So if you do see anything here and you think that it's good for everyone else to have that category on there, we can certainly add that category for you. But for now, these are the categories that we have. And then you just click next. So the next part is selecting a color that you would like to use for your site. So generally, I would recommend any colors that would relate to a logo that the business is using, or maybe the storefront, or maybe the interior of the site. So I'm just going to use this maroon here. And then the next part is just choosing images. And just another thing to keep in mind, none of this that you're seeing here is AI generated. Everything that you're seeing here is created through our marketing staff as well as the content. Everything has been curated so that it creates content that's specific for your website based on the category. As well as these are all Metro photos. So if you see any photos here that you like, they're also available on Metro. So I'm just going to start looking for images. Let's just say I'll use this pizza place here image. I could use a spaghetti and meatball here. And then let's, for example, say I don't like any of these images that it's presenting to me. You can always click here to load more photos. And so now let me just use this salmon image here. And that's it. The site has been created. I believe it should have been under 90 seconds. And so the next step here is that you're going to receive this bot notification, just letting you know, welcoming you to the new site. And again, this is a site that's created for your client. So if you had a client that you want to present, such as a Dan's restaurant, you would create this site, or you can actually create it with them so then they feel that they're working with you in building out a site. So the robot lets you know that at any time you could click the dashboard to modify the site. And so now we'll just click to view the site. And as you can see, it is a beautiful site with the layout that it has. It's nice and clean, it's modern, and it's very simple where it's easy to navigate and it's very intuitive. It automatically added all the information that you see here. As you can see, for example, all we did was add Dan's Restaurant, but the program that we've built actually will put the content in there for you. So I can modify that at any time. I can click here to read more about that. And you'll notice that there's some marketing wording here. And again, everything's done for you. You can always modify it and change it later. So again, I repeat that this is more of a spec website that you're building out for your client, and then they can actually go in there and modify it more or change it as they need to. Let's just say we wanted to change Dan's Restaurant to look a little different with that text. I would now go to the dashboard, and then here again, the bot appears and it just lets you know a little bit more information of what you can do on the dashboard. So I would go to the info and design if I wanted to change the logo or to change the font here. And by doing that, all I need to do is click font. And then I could select any one of these. Let's just say I use this Dan's Restaurant, and I could use that one, or I could use, let's just use this one for now. So that's the new text I could use. If I want to change the colors here, so again, I mentioned before that the site is SEO'd based on Google's parameters. So these are all colors that have been approved by Google to use. And so we're not going to get a negative score. So I do get a lot of questions in regards to why do we only have these colors here. And it's again, because these are the colors that were recommended by Google that are passing the grade that they're looking for contrast. And again, when they're saying contrast, they're saying white text on the color that we're using. So let's just say if I want to change this to now a brown instead. So all I do is click on the box and now the entire site is switched to brown. So I could go back to the home page and I could see that it's been switched. Let's just say I don't like this image that I see here, the first one. I could go back to my slideshow area and then just select, I would like to change and remove this one. And then I could select from, again, a gallery of photos that are all Metro. As you can see, very high quality, beautiful photos that currently are part of your Metro subscription. We can always switch any of these photos to this. So I'll just use this with the wine glasses. And now you'll notice that it's part of the 3. If you would like to use your own photos, you can do that by clicking here to upload it. We actually have a template JPEG file that you can use so that you can also make sure that you have the correct width and height of the image that you're uploading. So if I were to go back to the home page, you'll notice that image is now on that home page. So again, no tech needed here. All of this is just simply clicking and selecting. So Just a little background. What you're seeing here of a dashboard, that's taken about 10 years in order for it to be created to make it as simple as what you're seeing here. So we spent a lot of time in making this as easy as possible for anyone to update without needing to know any HTML or any coding. Unlike a WordPress site where, it does get a little confusing in the back end where you have to figure out where and what goes where. We've actually done all that for you. There's even a little bit of a blurb here that lets you know where each area does. As well as we even give you this notification that you're seeing here. So this will tell you, hey, by the way, you need to change the street address and again, because that's a sample for placement only content that we added here. So we can change that by clicking on that, and then it will take you to the area of where you can change the street address. And so once you change it, you'll no longer see that alert system there. You can also add a blog to your site by simply, let's just say if I want to add a blog to the restaurant, a little bit with some cheat sheet notes, I'll add a blog. So I'll click on adding a blog. I'm just going to copy a headline here and paste it in here. And let's just say I have more text here. I'm going to paste it here. So this blog will do a couple things that you can do. So let's just say we would like to share this on Facebook, but at the same time, I would like to promote this on the homepage. So I can click promote. I can then select an image that would relate to this. So we're saying it's a taste of Italy. So obviously some Italian food here. Let's just use, just use the spaghetti and meatballs here. And again, you don't have to use Metro photos. You can also use your own photo uploaded here, or we even have a seasonal gallery, which will let you give you holiday images. So for example, Mother's Day, Father's Day. So those are available too. But for now, I'm just using that restaurant photo that I selected of the spaghetti and meatballs. And I click submit. So this will automatically, by adding a blog, it will now create a tab for a blog. Again, no tech involved here. It's automatically doing that for you. If I click on blog, it will list that here with the preview image. I can click on read this blog. And then we also have the share button here. So you can actually share it through an email, or what's really nice about this, it actually creates a nice formatted promotional piece here on Facebook. So I'm just going to show you an example of how it creates it. So as you can see, it's creating the post, but it also adds the image and it adds the link. So if I were to click on this link or post this and click on the link, it will bring you back to the site. So that's the extent I would promote Facebook, is that you can use Facebook to bring people back to your website. You don't want them to stay on Facebook. You want to bring them back to your website, because again, on your website is where all your information, your coupons, your content, all of that is residing. So that's why you want them to go back there and then possibly see other information that you can have. So again, that's how you would create a blog. But also, I recall we made this as a promotion on the homepage. So now that blog also appears on your homepage. So if I were to click on read blog, it would take me to that read blog, and then it just intertwines with your slideshow. These sites also give analytics. So they're not as extensive as Google Analytics, but they do give you page views, which is extremely important for any business. They just want to know, is the website getting traffic? And that's the only thing this does. It tells you right now, June 12th, while we were doing this presentation, we've hit 12 pages throughout the site. So there's been actual someone visiting the site or perusing through the site. So it will give you 2 weeks worth of data. And it's just, again, it's done in a way to make it as simple as possible for your clients to make sure that the site that you've built or helped them build is working. So one of the reasons for building these sites is to create that legitimacy of their business, as well as to create a brand. It also helps you build the relationships with your clients where you become the digital marketing expert. These sites also do include a way where they can add forms. So for example, if I'm an eye doctor and I need a form added onto the site, I can just click form and upload the PDF, and then those forms will appear on the top of the site. let's just say this is a restaurant and I need to add a reservation link. So normally reservations or any e-commerce is using a third-party app or a third-party online app. So they would give you a URL, and then say, for example, we wanted to add reservations link on the top. You would just go to info and design. You would then click on links. You would then type in reservations here. And then you would just, in this case, I'll just use Google as my go-to place and submit. And that will automatically create a link to the top of the page that says reservations. And if I were to click on that, it would take me to Google. So in that case, it should take you to wherever the restaurant would have had that URL going to. So that's another question that we always get is how can I add more links on the top? Um, Coupons are simple to do. It's the same way as you're adding information such as the blog. You would just create a coupon. You can add a photo to it. If you have a video on YouTube, you can actually add that video by simply just copying and pasting the YouTube URL into the field. So I'll just show you how that would work. So again, we would put a headline, and I'll just use the same headline that I use for the blog. That way we just have some content here. And then let's just go to YouTube. And I'm always afraid to go on YouTube Live. You never know what's going to pop up. So let's just say Italian restaurant. And let's say that they have a video of their location on YouTube. So we're not going to go to any of these locations that are sponsored. Usually they're just links. And authentic Italian dining, sponsored, sponsored, sponsored. Let's just say, okay, I'm just going to use this. I believe this is just some format photo. But all I need to do here is just copy the URL that you're seeing up here. And so I'm just going to copy this URL. And then I'm just going to go to Dan's Restaurant and submit that. Let's just stop this music. And so now that I've done the Savor of Italy taste video, I can then, you'll notice that we now have a videos tab on the top. You'll notice that it's already created an image of the video, and then I could link on the video itself. And then here's that information that I copied and pasted, and I could watch the video on our page. So again, by us using YouTube to paste the video in here, there are no additional fees for bandwidth, and that's how we're able to give you a cost-effective $15 a month for each website. Another question that we get, and this will probably be the last one until we start accepting questions, is if someone has a domain name and we need it to link to this website. So you'll notice here that this website that we've created has a long URL string here, very similar to Facebook. Facebook doesn't start off with the name of the business. It actually says facebook.com and then some coding and so forth, and then the name of your business. That's exactly what we're doing. We're doing something similar with that manner. But if your client does have a domain name, we can actually help you move that domain name or point that domain name to this site. And it really just takes two fields that need to be modified on GoDaddy or any other domain name registrar. We would show you the information. We send you a step-by-step instruction. And again, no tech needed on that. It's just basically pasting in two fields. Once that's done, we then modify it on our end. And again, the sites are served by us, so we're able to connect the two. And then it takes about 24 hours to propagate, and then you have that domain name pointing to this site. So I'm just going to go back to the presentation now and see if we have any questions in regards to the sites themselves. Let me just switch.
Hey, Dan.
Yes,
Yes, we have some questions. But can I start with the first one? Because this is one of the first questions that came in.
sure.
And so, how does our local audience help their website be found? By using their print and digital ads to drive traffic to their site?
Yes. So with there's two ways that, so if the question is how do they find the digital marketing website, or is it how do they find the business website?
So, how does our local audience help their website to be found? Is it by using their print and digital ads to drive traffic to their site?
Okay, so it's if we're referring to the digital marketing website, then you would just pretty much create an ad on your current website that would link to that site. Same thing with your business. If you created a business website for your clients, you can create an ad, as I showed with the CMS bot. It will create a 300 by 250 ad. That's the image. You would just then put that on your website and link it to the site. Now, the sites, as I mentioned, are SEO'd. So organically, they do show up when people are doing searches. And every page on the website is SEO'd, which means that you're not only getting the homepage. For example, Facebook, you would only get the one page, and that's the only thing that's being indexed as a organic search, where in this case, you can have a website that could have up to 100 pages based on content, photo galleries, anything that you add to that site. And those 100 pages get indexed through Google, and that's how they find you. So any word that's in there, so let's just say, for example, that Italian restaurant that I created, if someone was looking for Italian restaurant and I put my city and state, um, it's very likely that they will find that site because of the way that we have it set up with SEO.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
You answered the question about the domain, but just in case, let's just ask again and you can answer it again. What about getting a domain?
Sure. So we're not yet partnered with any domain name registrar. We are working on trying to get a partnership with the domain name registrar. But you can use a GoDaddy. You can use there's Names Direct, Names Bright. There's a lot of places that you can actually purchase a domain name. Once you purchase that domain, they are most likely going to try to create a website for you. You could just pretty much deny any of those requests. And then once you have that domain name, you would just contact us. We would give you the step by step, depending on which registrar it is, because they're all different. They all don't want you moving away from them. So what we have is the step-by-step instructions based on which it is. And if, for example, if it's GoDaddy, all you would need to do is go through a few steps, and those are a few steps of clicking buttons. And then once you get there, we know exactly where it is, and then you would just paste what we give you. And then once you do that and save it, it takes about 24 hours to propagate, meaning that for that domain name to point to the website.
Dan, can the customer use their own photos? If so, how do they do that? How about their logo instead of just their name? I know you answered it before, but this is
Yes, so I highly recommend that they use their logo instead of just the name. The name's there in case they don't have a logo or they haven't built a logo yet. But it's just a temporary placement there that you can design it based on font. But I do recommend that you can upload your logo. It does look a lot more professional, a lot more legitimate of a business once you have your logo. So yes, you can upload your logo. That would be in the same area where I was explaining that you can change the street address or you can change the colors. There's an area there that says upload logo, and then you would just upload it. It can be either a JPEG or a PNG. And what was the other question?
let's see here. That was it. Can the customer use their own photos?
Yes, so they can use their own photos. So what we've noticed is we did notice that a couple of the customers are using their own photos, but I guess there's some education that needs to be made there in regards to the way they're uploading photos. So obviously, we would like them to use a landscape photo rather than a vertical photos, like a portrait photo. We don't want them using that, vertical type of photo. We want them more of a horizontal photo. So what we've created is a JPEG that's pretty much like a template that shows you a silhouette of a person, and that's where that should be your center point, and everything else should flow around it. So there is a video out there that I can send to anyone in regards to how you would do that with the images. So I believe it's maybe a 2-minute video. Also on the site, I didn't go through that. I can pop right back real quick so then you can all see. Um, on the site, if anyone does want more information or would like to become a partner, we do have on the cmsbot site, there's an area that says contact. That's where you can actually partner with us by simply just filling out the information. Let's just see. So you would click contact and then you would fill out this information here, enter the verification code and submit it. And then what that does is it gives us some feedback in regards to your publication. If you're a Metro subscriber, you do need to be a Metro subscriber in order for you to use cmsbot. It is a Metro product. So in regards to why we need a Metro subscription, it's because it helps you legally with the copyright of all the images that we are using on cmsbot. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's more.
Okay.
Would it be, and again, it is on the topic of domain names. Would it be smarter for us to purchase the domain name? Accounts that don't have sites will likely need a lot of help updating the site. Does anyone have any idea of how branding website fee per week or month until they get signed up to par? And that's from
Sure. So the one thing I highly recommend not to do is buy the domain name for the client. And the reason for that is several. One is if you purchase a domain name for the client, that means that you will need to use your credit card every year to renew it. It will come out of your, obviously your account. It's always better to give that client that responsibility to hold on to their domain name. And again, also, if anything were to ever happen where the client, let's just say for some reason decides that they no longer want to move forward 5 years from now and they want to use something else, they don't have to go through you in order for them to modify that domain name. They have full control over it, and you don't have to start figuring out how to transfer a domain name to another location and things like that. So I would highly recommend if they would like to purchase a domain name, maybe you can walk them through on, going through a GoDaddy and doing that for them. But I think the biggest issue with all of that is the part that it does get renewed every year, a domain. And just in case people don't know, a domain name can start off, and for example, I think GoDaddy does this. They'll do it 99 cents for the first year, and then the following year it'll be $25. So just to keep in mind, it can be anywhere between $10 to $30 a year for that domain name.
Thank you, Dan. Dan, can each salesperson have their own login on our Sheridan Media website build site? So I guess would each salesperson have their own link or how
So
would it be set up?
every site, including the digital marketing website, only has one login. And the reason for that is because we don't want anything to be overwritten by someone else that's on the site. So, for example, if there were two sales reps on there and they're both building out a site and one is modifying one, and it's very possible they could override each other, especially if they're modifying the site. So that's why the business sites all have one login, and the digital marketing websites also have just one login. Those logins for the business sites, the digital marketing website, the area where I said that you can activate and deactivate, it will also show you what your that business website, what the login is for that. So say, for example, if they forgot their login or they lost their login or they would like you to manage your site, you can use that area to find out what the username and password is, log in through their account and make the modifications. So another point I'd like to make is that with these sites, obviously there's only a $50 whatever you're charging, or it could be $30 to $50 per month. There may be sales reps out there saying, well, what's that mean for me? How am I making money off of $30 or $50? So what we've seen is a lot of partners, what they're doing is they're charging it could be a $50 setup or a $100 setup. And that could be the incentive to the sales rep for each one of these sites. And that ends up, working out well doing it that way.
Dan, I do have an important question. If we choose not to purchase a domain name from GoDaddy, for example, what does the domain name look like and how do we direct people to the site? For example, in a radio commercial, order Dan's Pizza online at, or is it danspizza.com, or is it cbsbotdanspizza.com?
So that's one of the reasons why you do purchase a domain name is because you don't want to make it that long string. So if you were, say, for example, if you were telling someone, how to get to the site, I wouldn't recommend doing it that way, where you would start off the CMS bot and so forth. So you would, purchasing that domain name is your marketing way of creating that link. So not only that, you really want them to purchase domain names, so then that way you can use that with any advertising in print. And then once that domain name is purchased, you can also create QR codes. So if they don't purchase domain, let's just say if they don't purchase domain name, they have the long string in print, I would recommend that they have a QR code where they could scan it and then it would show the website on their phone. So that's something else that I'm working on right now is building out a QR code generator into the CMS bot, and that will allow you to create QR codes for any page within that site. Meaning that if you wanted to create a print ad, a quarter page print ad for a coupon, you can say, okay, here's the information, and then on the bottom, take the QR code and put it inside that ad, and say, scan this QR code in order for you to get that coupon. And then now you have the coupon, you could go and show it at the store. The idea of bringing people back to your site is because you have so much more to offer on that site. Whether it's your menu or your services or coupons or events, you always want someone go back to your site rather than going to a Facebook.
Dan, okay, how can clients edit their own websites? Like after the content is set up, how do they go back in and edit? And is it easy? Like what percentage of accounts are going, based on your experience so far, have come back to say they need a little bit of help? Or is it?
Yeah. So let's just see. I'm trying to share it. Sonia, can you see the screen again?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so let's just say it's extremely easy to update any area of the site. So let's just say we wanted to change this About Dan's restaurant in this area. I would go to the dashboard, and then you'll notice here there's an info. Let's just see. So I go to info and design, and this is where I can change it. So let's just say Dan's Restaurant and Grill. I wanted to change it now. I just bought a new name. I have Restaurant and Grill. I could change it that way. If I want to change the name of the business, I could change it up here. And if I want to change where taste meets passion, grilling all the time, and I click submit. This all now gets changed, and none of this, let's just take that comma out of here and let me just submit it again. So as you can see, now it has this here. If I had a logo, I'll show you how those sites look, because those look really great when you have a logo onto these sites. So again, that's how you would update the site. You'll notice here too is where you would upload the logo. So right here, it says click here to upload a logo. So I've actually created a few sample sites where we have logos already on there. So this is one site that I created, which is Bread Zeppelin. So that's a logo here. So it starts looking a lot better when you start putting a logo up there. We have another site here, Center City Care. So what's nice about this too is we continue to evolve these sites. So this is something that's really interesting now. So here we have Center City Care. We know it's a medical facility. So with medical facilities, we're actually giving you blog content. So you'll see this, I believe it's right here. So this is actually content from Metro Editorial that's actually being added into the backend system that you can at any time choose to use. And you simply just click to use it, and then it places it on your home page. And as you can see, the more you start adding to the site, the more it starts filling up. So here we have services. So you're seeing physical therapy. You can see the latest blog. It has the blog itself. You could click to read the importance. And again, if I wanted to share this blog, I could just click Facebook. And now, again, it's going to go to my Facebook page to try to put that blog in there with the image. And again, it looks a lot more reputable than just putting any image on there. And then it links you back to the site. So that's again the most important thing is bringing you back to the site. So these again, if you ever want to see some sample sites that we've created to get some ideas, you would just go to cmsbot.com and then click samples.
Dan, there's another
Yep.
question. Is there a limit to the number of pages to the sites?
There are no limits to the number of pages. So a lot of sites were, there was a point in time where developers would say, we'll build you a site with 5 pages, or we'll build you a site with 1 page. And there are sites out there that are landing pages that look like full sites, but they're not full sites, meaning that if I were, and I'll show you what that means. Let's see if I could find a way how it would work. So, okay. So what they do is there's what's called a landing page that links have links on the top, but it's really not a full website. It's just a link to a part on the home page. So for example, if I click on gallery, it links me to the bottom of that page. And if I were to click on about us, it would link me to this part of the area. But in this case, what we're doing is as you're building out the site, it's actually building those pages for you. So although there is only one About Us page, for services, you can have multiple pages. It's not only just one service page. You can have 100 services listed here. You can also have 100 blogs. There's no limitation on the amount of information that you're adding here. And again, as you can see here as the blog, these are all Metro editorial content under the category of medical that I've chosen to add to the site. And as you can see, now, let's just say I'm Center City Care. I could use one of these per week or per month or whatever you want to do and share it on Facebook. And now you look like the medical expert that's bringing people from Facebook over to your website. And again, you would do that by clicking on here. Anyone could go here. So again, if I'm a user, not the builder of the site, not the owner of Center City Care, but if I'm just a visitor to the site and I saw the importance of wellness exams after 50 and I wanted to send it to someone that I know that's 50, that's not worried about their wellness, I can just basically click share. It will go here and then it will go in Facebook, and then I could message them or send it to them or post it anywhere like that. But again, the beauty of this is it's not just a link, it's actually an image with a link and telling you the site where it's coming from. So in regards to the digital marketing websites, I just want to highlight, let's just see. Yeah, so let's just see if I could get to this site. So the digital marketing websites, here's an example of a digital marketing website with the newsletter journal. They've done an outstanding job with their digital marketing website. So again, we create a digital marketing website, what you're seeing here, but then you can localize it. You can add whatever information you want on here to further promote what you do. So it's not just websites, but let's just say in this case, the newsletter journal, they have graphic designers, they have local advertising, they have photography, they have videos. There's no reason why you can't promote all those services under this umbrella site. And again, you don't need a tech staff to do any of this. All this is a sales tool. This is a sales tool for you to further promote and make more money with something that there's no commitment, no contract, no credit card required until an actual site is posted or live. So posted meaning that they are activated and live, not they're on trial mode or free or anything like that. So again, great job from Newsletter Journal, who's actually done all this information here, as you can see. They even posted on the bottom, you can post awards that you've received. So in their case, kudos to them for winning all of these awards. You can see if I click on an award, they've entered all of this. I haven't really helped them much with any of this. They've done this all on their own. And if you do find anything that we're missing on here that you think is beneficial for all the other publications out there, we're more than willing to look at it and possibly apply it to the sites. And then everyone benefits from that, not just your site, but everyone. So if someone says, hey, Dan, we need this on the site, we think it will work for selling more of these sites. What do you think? And then, let's just figure it out and see if we can actually do it. If we can do it, then we apply it to everyone's site and everyone benefits from that. So a lot of what you're seeing here from the forums, from other items on the site was done based on recommendations from publications like yourself. You can also do a video spotlight. As you can see here, they added this. This is their own little commercial that they're adding on their homepage, which is Fantastic. It's just giving some more details in regards to what they offer, newsletter journal. Um, and I don't want to hear any excuses that, hey, I only have a staff of 4 because, I don't believe Newsletter Journal has more than 10 people working at their location, and yet they're building out something here. And again, the credibility that they're building out by showing something like this is phenomenal because now you look like the digital marketing expert. So again, this is just a video that they're highlighting on their homepage. It's not too difficult to create a video like this, but it's a great way for you to market yourself using this digital marketing website. Is everyone still there?
Yep, we're still here.
Okay.
Just one, there's a couple of more, but some of them are, you've already answered them so I don't want to ask them
I could
again.
re-answer.
But someone said, are event calendars possible? So like maybe can you highlight some of the additional things that you can add on to the websites? Like with
Sure. So
appointments and stuff and I think
yeah, so we don't have anything where you can create an appointment, for example, if you have a hair salon or anything like that. But you would create it several similar to how you would do the reservations. What we do have though is an area that you can post an event. So for example, as you can see here, we have what's called the events, showcase upcoming events. So for example, if this restaurant is having a lasagna weekend, we can post that event by clicking lasagna weekend, or well, typing in lasagna weekend. We could say what date it will be. So let's just say on Friday the 13th. Uh, and then I'm just gonna copy some of this text and we could see how that would look. So obviously you would give some information about the lasagna weekend, if it's a 50% off, whatever it is. And then we can find if there is a photo of a lasagna here, we can use it, or you can actually upload your own image on there and submit. So once you do that, again, like the blog, it will create a new tab up here for events. You can click on that events, and there's your lasagna weekend event. So again, it's a great way for you to, when you draw people back here, they can see all your events. If you're doing a Father's Day event, you can post this on here. And again, there's no limitations on how many events you can post on here. Let's just say, and here's another one that's really neat too. Say there's something just unique that you guys have on there. I could not imagine. Let's just say, okay, Dan's Restaurant and Grill is now doing birthday parties, but obviously there's nothing here about birthday parties. I'm just going to go back before I go too far. You can click on what's called pages. So you're allowed to put 2 pages on here that is any information. So I'm just going to copy some text here just as an example. So pages, I can add a page here. I could call it parties. And then I'm just gonna paste and paste and paste. So you obviously can give pricing or what you can do for parties. And let's just say parties, and I'm just gonna use any of these photos I could use. Let's just say pizzas there. So what that will do is add a new tab on the top called parties. And if you click on it, it will give you a page of all that party information. Any other questions?
Yes. Marlene has a question. You mentioned forums. Is there a database where it will collect all the email addresses entered into the form for email marketing?
So here's a really neat one too. That this again was part of a request that we had from a publication. So a lot of the small businesses may have a Gmail account, or I've even seen AOL accounts out there still. But you don't want to use those emails when someone's saying, "Hey, email me." You can actually tell them, "Go on my website and click to contact us now." So if you click contact us, and let's just say Dan. And then let's just say 555-1234. Let's just say I'm just going to put my Metro. Um, are you taking reservations for Father's Day? Oh man. Okay, so that could be the question, right? and that would be your phone number. All I would do then is click this. So what it will do is it will email the person, whoever is email address is associated to this website. It will email them telling them, hey, you just received a message, and we'll show you that message. It will also, if you go now to the dashboard, when you go to the dashboard, it will notify you there's a mail in there. So it's not a per se like webmail. This is actually just a contact form that it's actually telling you that someone submitted something here and it hasn't been opened yet. So now I could view it and then I could read the information. So what's nice about this is, although we're not collecting the email addresses as a document that you can download, it is giving you that email address of what they use to submit. And then what's nice about this is all of you know, similar to a CRM out there, you can use this almost like a CRM. So you can say, I called Dan and let him know, so let him know, yes. And then you can save that as your notes. So now that you have a note in there, it will show a little sticky pad here saying that you have a note in there, and then it says when it was updated. And then now you have a tracking of how that all worked out. So again, very good for restaurants who are throwing or doing parties or special events or anything like that, or you just want to make sure that everything's organized. You can use this mailbox area through your contact to do that.
Dan, thank you. So there's one more question here from Julie. Julie, I love your questions. Keep them coming. What other categories are you populating for? So I guess maybe if there's a category that we don't have content for, how can they go about
Yeah,
it?
so I would just suggest just right now we actually technically have about 150 categories out there. We're just curating them to the more popular ones first, and then slowly going to those other ones. So if you do have a client, so for example, I believe someone said that they had a flower shop. And we noticed that there are other flower shops in the local markets for everyone else. We pushed that flower shop through, and within 24 hours, we had a florist category on there. So as we continue to keep adding to the categories, it will automatically update this list on the homepage of categories. Not only that, but it will also update your digital marketing website with that list of categories. So as we update it, it will update it here for you. So just keep that in mind. The more categories we have, the more listing that you're going to start seeing here on the homepage. What we also did too is we've created what's called an other category. So if you have something that's unique or we don't have, instead of you waiting for us to create that or for us to curate it, you can use the other option, meaning that it's just going to give you generic content. So for example, again, 90 seconds if you all have it. I'll do that right now. Basically, copy the URL. And this is, again, in demo mode on the cmsbot site if you want to see how that all works. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking try it now. Let's just say I have a business website and it's not showing up as a category. I can select other, and let's just say, I don't know, car detail. Um, and I click next, it goes through the same process. So the only loss that you're going to have is that we don't know exactly what that category was, but it's going to start looking at photos or generic photos that you can actually use. So for example, if I want to use this photo, and again, it will ask you to pick photos, but you don't have to use any of these photos in the end. You can always remove the photos if you needed to, and just use this as a way to populate the site itself before it starts. So now I have view website. Again, the bot tells me the information, and then I have card detail, and then it starts building out the site the same way. It gives you a generic content here that you can always update. You can update the images. And again, as I said, if there was an image on that rotation that you just don't want to use, you can actually go to the slideshow, click on slideshow. Let's just say I don't want to use her. I could just click the part where it says change and remove, and it says here, click to remove this image. And let's just say I don't want to use him. I could do the same thing. Change here, click to remove that image. And then let's just say I like this open sign better. I can click that one. And now I'm back to the cart detail, and it just says open. So that's just a quick way of you building out something if we don't have the category, because it is pretty generic there. And then, of course, you can change the font, you can change the colors, and then you can do everything else that everyone else was able to do before. So obviously, services would be an area of products, blog, coupons, videos, all of these things that you can add on there.
And then Dan, they can upload their own photos then to build out that site a little
Yes.
bit, right?
So again, if I want, let's just say add service, if I want to upload my own photo, I can do that by simply clicking upload image. I click here, and then it will look on my desktop for any images that I have.
In a case like that, it would be really handy, right? They can also go to the mom and pop shop and take a picture of the store and then come back and
Absolutely. So again, let me just see if I could find that. I'll just show all of you what I'm referring to when I say we have a graphic template so that you can use when you are uploading this image that, let's see if you can see the image. Well, that's the image I just uploaded, but I'm just going to show it. Let's see if it lets me do that here. Well, I'm back to this YouTube. Okay, so this image that you're seeing here, that's the graphic template that we have to let you know where the subject should be and the format of how the video or how the image should be in width and in height. So if you were to open that up in Photoshop and you place the whatever photo that you have, make sure that the person is in this area or your subject is in the area, and then all of this is just the outer portion. And by using something like this, you'll make sure that your images on your home page will look somewhat how you're seeing what the Metro images are here. You'll know that it's the perfect quality. Now you can, as I mentioned, the sites are mobile responsive, and so is the updating of the site. So all of this that you're seeing here, you can actually do it all on your phone. So if you were to log into the account off your phone, you can do that, and you can take a picture. But again, I would recommend that it's a horizontal picture instead of a vertical photo. You upload that photo, and it works just the same way. You can upload it through whichever area that you're in.
And Dan, what's pretty cool too is that they can go onto the Metro site, right? And they can try type in autos and see what images and download them.
Well, yes, they could at any time go to Metro's site. So, for example, let's just say if I went to Metro, if I go on a Metro site, and let's just say what were we doing?
I think it was auto body you were doing.
Yeah, let me just do car. So Metro has an area, and let me just make sure I have that here. Let's just say this is a car that we want to use. Metro has an area that says download JPEG for preview. You can actually use that one, and especially if it's a JPEG like that. Um, so I will use that as my download in this example. Let me just see if I can do that with the car details, say services. So if I do car, I gotta work on my spelling. Car detailing. Let's just again. I don't like typing too much. I'm gonna go to upload image. I could go to click here, and then I'm just going to go. Let's see if. So that's the image that was given to me by Metro when I downloaded the JPEG. There's the image. And because this is a service, so this is one that has a lot of information that you can actually do. So for example, this is the car detailing, this is the category, and then there's information about that category, and then I uploaded the image. You can then upload a video too, and then you can also select which position you would like this to show up. So for example, if there's car detail, there's just waxing a car or just washing a car, that's another category. And then if you want to show pricing, so for example, if I want to say full service, I could do that. I'm just going to put some more information. And then the price, I could say, I don't know what the car detailing goes for. And then I could actually show a different image too here. So for example, if I go, I'm going to just try to do this pretty fast. I could click download JPEG, and I'm just going to upload this image as a second photo here. Let's just see. So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a car detailing category page for services, and then I'm also saying how much does it cost for each one of those. So now you'll notice that we have services, car detailing. I view car detailing services. That's just the information that I entered. There's the image that relates to the full service. And then I could do another image and another. I think you could put up to 10 images here or 10 pricing images. So again, it's categorized based on the car detailing, and then the pricing has their own photos if you would like to show that as well.
Dan, thanks for doing that because a lot of our subscribers subscribe to Metro, and it's nice for them to know that they can go in and replace them with additional images. And you don't have to, it's not a lot of work. You just did it, and it was pretty
Sure.
fast. Okay, so are you good for another question or you let me know?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. So I think you explained this before, but I'm not too sure because this one's a little different. Can we use Google Analytics with the website?
You can use Google Analytics. We would just need to get that analytic from you, or we could put also an area on. I'll just show you where it would be. So the area, we would just need to activate that for you. So, and we're not leaving it in here for all, only because we don't want to confuse if it's a user. So it would be a field similar to how you see a toll-free number. You would just paste in your Google Analytics code in here, and then that would apply the code to all the pages. But again, the whole point of these sites is more not to give so much detail, but to give them somewhat detail to let them know that their sites are working. So by providing a Google Analytics, that means that you need to then run the report for them every time that they contact you, where instead, by using the analytics, you don't have to tell them to do that. That they could check out on real time, anytime, their analytics. So, and it's simplified. It's not telling you too much information where they don't understand it. It's just giving them information enough to let them know that, hey, I ran it out today, or hey, I did this today on wherever, and I could see that I'm getting a lot of response from it versus these other days that I didn't do anything and I'm not getting any response.
Does anyone have any other questions? I've been going through the list, but if I skipped your question, I apologize, but if you want to just resend it, it'll populate on the top. Um,
Yeah, I see a lot. Yeah.
you see on the very top, Julie has a question, and Marlene, I think they're a team. They're tag teaming us. Ready?
Okay.
Can you show us all a Google search that links to a live site?
Sure. So here's one that's been around for a while. So let's just see Google. Let's just see. I'm gonna just gonna do this. So I'm just doing this as an example with that one here will now link directly. So now here's the part that I was referring to, that you're not only getting that first page, you're getting a multiple of pages, and it's all being linked through Google. So if I click on this, more results from Central Jersey listings, these are all part of that. This is all part of the CMS bot. And you'll notice, look at all the index pages that are going through here. It's not just the homepage, it's the blog, the listings, the about us, the contact. All of these are actually a CMS bot site. So this is just a custom domain name that's pointing to a CMS bot site. I can click on next and you'll see that there's even more. Let's just say we click on here. And so this is one of the sites that are being loaded. Let me just, yeah, it's still loading. And so you can have video, you can share it. And then of course, that's the home page by clicking on there. So again, these are all sites that were indexed through Google based on nothing other than the SEO that's built into the site. So you'll notice, nicely done, where it's importing the correct information. It's got everything in here. And again, you can say, well, I went specific on the name. But if I go on results for that name, you'll notice that we have hundreds, if not thousands of pages with that name. So I could keep going, and there's a lot of other places out here that have that same name, but it's not that's rep. It's other reps as well. But the point is that this site over exceeded other sites out there. And you'll notice I could go to page 10, and let's just multiply. I believe there's 20 search results per page. So we're already at page 220, or listing 220, page 11, 220. And I could keep going. And we've got about 240 results for that one person. And yet the first thing that you see here when I do that search, it's a cmsbot site.
Thank you, Dan. Okay,
Sure.
let's see here. Sylvie has a question. Is SSL included? Oh, that was a tongue twister.
Yes. So SSL, in case no one knows what SSL is, it is a security for your site. So let me just show you going back to this site. It is included. It's an SSL. You'll notice that there's a lock on the top. That means that you have SSL on your site. So it is included. So that takes about 24 hours to propagate when you point to the site. So for example, if I click on HTTP, it pushes the SSL to go back to the HTTPS, which means for the security purpose. So yes, it is included with the $15 per month.
Thank you. So there's another question here from Jay, but I think you just did it, but maybe I'm misunderstanding. Can you search a site?
You cannot search inside of a site. I think that's the question. Yeah. So
Okay.
everything. Yeah. So I think the navigation is as intuitive where you don't need to search. One of the reasons why I've always been against having a search on a site, if that is the question, is because if you don't have that keyword or that information, then you're going to look worse than if you did not have a search. So, for example, if I'm an auto dealer and I'm looking for a specific car and I can't find it on your site because I'm doing a search, you just made them go through all this trouble of finding it through a search engine on the site when you don't have that many vehicles listing. So it's easier and better that you just click on listings, and then you would have everything just listed there.
Okay. I think I've went through. I think. Um, yeah. I mean, we want. David wanted to know, like, jewelry stores category. Is that something that is open? But I think you went over that, right? Or
Yes. So again, if we find jewelry store is one that everyone can use, yes, we'll certainly create it as a category. We'll show some generic type of jewelry, and then you can always upload your own images for the jewelry. But again, if you need that in a hurry, where you need it today and you want to go out there and sell it, you can just use the other and then just take pictures or take images from Metro that are jewelry, because that's exactly what we're going to do, except look at the best photos. We also modify the photos a lot so that they look even better to fit the site. But again, you can do all of that yourself using the other until the jewelry or whatever category that you're requesting is actually activated on the site.
okay. Thanks, Dan. I did find Marlene had another question.
Sure.
So there are no plugins, only places to add links. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's well, I plugins means you don't have to add anything to these sites. So again, these sites are sales tools that you can modify through fields and just clicking buttons. But there's no plugins that you have to add to your browser or anything like that. You don't have to even put a plugin on your phone. Everything's done through the website, and it's again mobile responsive, so then you can use it on your phone or you can do it through the desktop. And again, you can build a website on your phone for your client while you're there. You could send them the link. What's nice too about, let's just see if I could get back to that site, the My City Paper. You'll notice there's something called here. This is a really neat one too. So if you have a sales staff that's selling these sites and you want to keep track of which reps sold a site and which one did not sell a site, so how would you track any of that? So right now, if I were to click on Get Started, you'll notice there's a partner number up there. So there's no way for us to know who that sales rep was by using this URL. But if you create a sales staff, so in this case, I have Lori here as a sales staff. You'll notice there's an affiliate URL. That URL now, if I were to click on that, it gives me an account number. That account number will now associate to Lori forever. So if she shares this URL with any of her clients, then they build the site through this URL. We know that Lori submitted that to their clients for them to build a site. So now that site will be listed as Lori's site. So what did that mean is that if I go back to the websites area here, you'll notice Lori's name will be under that Lori's Winery because she was the sales rep. And that's how you can say, hey, look, I could tell who's selling the sites, who's not selling the sites, who's sharing. And again, Lori can create the site for the client, or Lori can send that link to the client to be modified. So if we, let's just say, I want to look at other information. So here's where I can look at um, their address, their information, their link. So if they lost their link information, you can actually just send this over to them. You can actually even click a link that says share. That means, oh, here's the link to your website in case they forgot it. So until it gets activated, there will not be a username or password in here. But once it's activated, you'll notice it's not activated. That's why there's no username and password. I believe, yeah, this is the one that we just created. So here's an example. I think this will wrap it all up and just help you all. What happens if a site is deactivated or after the trial period? What are they seeing? So let me just copy this link, copy link, and I'm going to deactivate it. Let's just say it expired today. You'll notice I click submit, and I'm just it's going to ask me to log out of my current My City paper. So you'll notice here that if I click your free trial has now expired, this is the messaging that you will receive as someone that a site has been expired. So the site isn't technically deleted. You'll notice that it's still back there. It's just now, obviously they don't want to promote a site that has this information here. So you'll notice here there's an 800 number. This is the email address. It says your paper name will show here, and it also will link to whatever we have on file as your email address for the site. And then that's how they would contact you. If it's a sales rep, so in that case, if it was Lori who built that site, it would have Lori's contact information here. So then this person can contact Lori direct and say, hey, I would like to activate it. So now let's just say we said we would like to activate that. I would then go back to the site, which is Dan's Bar and Grill. It expired today. I would then say, okay, let's activate it. And that's it. You click that green button, you click submit. And so this is where it now, when I reload this page, so now I'm on this page as the business owner. I go to the page, and this is where you'll notice it says full name. I enter my full name, Dan, test CMS. I'm just writing anything here, dan.com, just so I could show you all how it works. And then I could say Dan's web. So now that's my username and this is my password. So let me just make sure I have this all written down real quick so I could show you how that would all work. So once I had that, an email will be sent to that test CMS to tell me that the site has now a login. And now if I were to go back to that site, that Dan's Restaurant site, it's no longer going to show me any information. There's no dashboard here. No one can modify the site unless you have that username and password. And in order for someone to do that or log in, they would go to the bottom of their page and click the login link. And then I believe that was the password. And then hopefully I didn't lose the username, Dan's Web. And once I click that, it should now give me access to it. So now I have full access to go back and forth through my dashboard like I did before to modify the site.
Dan, that link that you started showing us, is that the link that the sales reps would use and send it to their potential advertisers and prospects? Is that what they would use?
Yeah, so whatever link, so under sales reps, let's just see. So under sales staff, so there's two things. There's sales staff and there's sales reps. So the sales staff is the one that actually shows you, you can, and I'll show you how all of these are done. Let's just say we want to add a new sales staff member here. I could just add Dan. I add the phone number. So anything that you're seeing here is what that user will see when the site expires. And if I want to share that link, again, it would show Dan here, and then I could copy that affiliate URL, or I could click the email button, and that will actually create an email with the URL that you can actually share with your client. So if they use that URL, so I clicked on the link, but again, you could copy this URL that you're seeing up here.
Okay.
I send it to the client. now they use that URL. You could say, hey, go on this website, build your site out, and let me know what you think. So they go here, they build it all out, and then once that's done and their free trial expires, then they could contact Lori back and say, hey, I would like to move forward. So again, this is all the reasons why I keep mentioning that this is not a tech site per se that you need your tech staff to approve or do anything for you. This is a sales tool. This, as you can see, a sales rep can do all of this without any help from their tech staff because you're not needing them in order for any of this to be activated. All we're doing is creating a tool online for you to actually be able to build and sell websites.
It looks a lot easier than creating a spec sheet. I noticed I think I could
Yeah,
do this a lot faster and easier than a spec sheet. So thank you.
sure. I just saw someone raise their hand.
See here. Sylvie's leaving. Sylvie left us.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
okay, I think that's it. I mean, there were other questions, but I think we covered most of them. All of them, actually. Maybe one or two. Maybe they were
Okay.
repetitive ones, but we're good.
So again, if anyone would like to enroll as a partner with the CMS bot and Metro, all you have to do is click on contact on the CMS bot site and fill out the information here and enter your verification code and just click submit.
Okay. And thank you for joining us. I just want to let everyone know if you could just fill out a survey at the end of this presentation, which is about 2 minutes. It's not a pop quiz, it's just a service. It's going to really help us. We just need your feedback. And also, just to let you know that if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. Our information was in the presentation. You will get a recording and a link to access the slides. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for attending.